Hi, all. This is Rachel Hernandez, aka Mobile Home Girl of the Adventures of Mobile Homes podcast. Thank you so much for coming back to another episode of the podcast. Today, we've got another guest interview. I've got Brady Winder here, and he is the content marketing strategist and podcaster for Carrot.com. And today, Brady is going to talk about all things online content creation and marketing for mobile home investors, because I get a lot of people asking me questions about this topic, content creation and marketing online as a mobile home investor. So I thought I'd interview Brady, ask him to come on the show, and here we are. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Brady.
Thanks, Rachel. Thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm super excited. Any chance I get to nerd out about marketing, websites, I'm game for. So thanks for having me on. Happy to share with your audience.
Very cool. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm really excited to just dive in to all this because I've been in the space. I've been investing in mobile homes since 2007, and a lot has changed. So let's talk about your background, how you got into the online, content marketing space, specifically in the real estate investing industry, and your experience. And then we'll talk about, some of the things, some of the topics that, are of concern to real estate investors when they are marketing for leads online today.
Yeah, for sure. We don't have time. It'd be 5 episodes to cover my whole backstory of my random odd jobs and my career so far. But the short version is this. I got into podcasting, actually. I was an audio guy recording bands and musicians, and audio is my trade. So I got into podcasting, and podcasting eventually led to a connection for Carrot. My boss, our CEO, Trevor, started doing Carrot.com's podcast just as a contractor. And that kind of opened the world of marketing up to me. I didn't go to school for marketing. I just learned it by trial and error. And my focus kind of shifted from podcasts and music and recording a little bit more towards content marketing when I realized that great marketing, and specifically like great content marketing, is just solving people's problems and giving people solutions and answers to their questions. It's not advertising. It's a totally different thing. So once I realized what content marketing was and realized that I can help people by helping them create content and learn how to tell a story, create content, and how to do their messaging, positioning, make their websites convert, all of those things I love to nerd out about. That's when I really kind of fell in love with marketing. So anyways, started working for Carrot about 5-6 years ago almost, and started out just doing videos and podcasts, and learned way more than I ever thought I would about content marketing. And since then, here we are today. Fast forward, I host our podcasts. We do monthly webinars, trainings, all sorts of good stuff to really nerd out on online marketing. And we've helped over thousands of real estate investors, but right now we have over 6,000 active real estate investors in our client base that we're helping generate literally millions of motivated seller leads. So
wow,
that's in a nutshell.
Amazing. And from my understanding, Carrot, you are exclusively in the real estate investing space. Exclusively.
We are actually just now beginning to branch out into home services. So working with HVAC companies, taking what we've learned from the real estate investing space and offering that to HVAC and contractors, just because it's a logical next step. Investors are always working with contractors and vice versa. The same principles, same online marketing principles work. But yes, a lot of what we teach is real estate specific, and the context is all within real estate investing. And so our community, it's all real estate investors, and some agents too, more so the hybrid agents who are real estate investors and who happen to have their license. But yeah, our roots go way back into the real estate investing community.
Great. Yeah, let's talk about marketing because I'm a local investor. I've been in the space forever and a day. I do a lot of the really old school things. I don't do direct mail. I used to do direct mail, but I do door knocking. I do passing out business cards, networking, and all that. So let's talk about marketing. This is specifically for mobile home investing, real estate investing. How has it changed? I mean, let's talk about the space now in terms of marketing for lead generation.
Yeah.
Is it necessary to actually have an online presence for investors online? And how can it help them in their own business?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's like back in the day when the internet was first taken off, it's like, how do we get online? Got to get a website up, got to be seen. But the SEO space, search engine optimization, like ranking in Google and showing up online, has become more competitive over time. And so Carrot was kind of born out of this, like, how do we get found online? So it's definitely changed. It is more competitive, but there's also a lot of niches and there's a lot of different ways to show up online besides just ranking for certain terms that people are looking for on Google. Besides paid ads, there's so many different ways we could dive into. But to answer your question, you said, is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. So I work for a website company. I'm not going to hard sell anyone like everybody has to have a website. If you're doing business, you're doing deals with a lot of offline marketing, networking, like you mentioned, you can run a business like that. But there's some really key benefits to having a website online that helps your offline marketing and is going to help you close more deals and help you with credibility. That if you're not showing up online, you're not building credibility and trust with people online, then you are missing out. There are deals slipping through the cracks that you're losing to competition, that you would have gotten had you had a good web presence online. So
Okay.
not necessary, but critical. And especially if you're looking at long-term, if you want to build a business of freedom and a business that you can really scale and begin to step away from, having a website and really going in on evergreen marketing, which is what we teach at Carrot, marketing that works for you over the long term without you always having to work on it, is key if you're after freedom and scalability.
Okay. So, we're talking about website, I'm very old school because, if I had a website, which I don't for my mobile home investing business, I have
Yep.
an email address, but not a website.
Yeah.
The old way is just to put your website on your business card. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's one way. It's, if you're an offline marketer, say you're an online marketer, and having that website, we're talking about getting found, SEO. I mean, me, as I'm not so techy, it's very overwhelming as an
Mhm.
investor. So let's talk about investors who try to DIY their own websites versus using some kind of service like Carrot or other offerings out there. What are the pros and cons of doing it that way?
So it's a timely question, Rachel, because I just finished building my own custom WordPress site for a business that I run outside of Carrot. And the only reason I didn't choose Carrot is because there were a few things I wanted to get really fancy on, and Carrot's more towards real estate. But anyways, it's a lot. It's a crap ton of work. I mean, if you're looking at, for one, if you wanted to go with like a Wix or a Wix or like a Squarespace or something, I would highly recommend not doing that. We've ran surveys to show up who's showing up in Google and generating motivated seller leads, mobile home leads. You're not going to find a Wix or Squarespace or any one of those cheap website builders ranking in Google. You just won't. We've already done the research on it. The vast majority of the ones that are showing up are going to be Carrot sites. And then second to that, like really our main competitor would be like custom websites. The thing is with custom websites, it's going to be expensive. You're looking at like $5,000 and three on the low end, but really like 5 to 10 grand startup cost to get a website going, plus ongoing cost to your web developer. There's a lot you're responsible for. So like keeping the coding, making sure the coding's good, keeping the plugins up to date, making sure it doesn't get hacked, making sure it doesn't get crashed, making sure it loads fast. There's a ton of things that Carrot websites already do for you that you never even have to think about, so that you can just focus on marketing and focus on closing deals instead of focusing on being a web developer. I don't think anyone should be, and I know because I built my own websites, and you can get a Carrot website running up in 20 minutes or less and then optimize it, tweak it as you go, or you can spend weeks, months building a custom website. And the main thing is, let's say even if you magically like had all the time and money to build a website and you wanted to do it on your own, you need to understand conversion principles, online conversion principles, and you need to have a deep understanding of marketing to know how the website should be structured, what information should be on it, how the forms work. That's key. It's like we've done a lot of testing over the years with investors to know, like, I'm talking like really nitty gritty stuff, like the colors and placement of the buttons, what's included in the form, the pages, all this nerdy stuff. Like you said, you're not a techie, you're overwhelmed by this. That's we recognize that. That's why a lot of it's baked into Carrot for you. But the number one mistake I see people making with building custom websites is they don't understand that. They hire people to build a website that are not marketers. They hire designers to make something pretty, but that doesn't necessarily convert or show up in Google. That's a lot of waste of money. And if you're sending traffic to that website that doesn't convert, how many deals are you losing because their website doesn't convert, So there's a lot of, that's at a high level, but I could nerd out on that all day.
Exactly. I mean, that's just building the website. Oh, wait, you build the website, you pay for it, but then how the second piece is actually getting found. And that was my second question about SEO. How hard is it? We're doing so much as investors already. How hard is it to learn SEO with, from the ground level for an investor,
Yeah. The reality is it's really not that hard, but SEO is something where you either like SEO is its own focus on its own. So the way I look at it is like you can, recognize what you get energy from. If you're someone who likes to just be in front of people all day and you're a negotiator, you're a closer, and you really get a lot of energy from those conversations, then you do that. If you're someone who just loves marketing and you love getting creative and it's interesting to you, then make the commitment to learn SEO. If you're not, but you still want to reap the benefits from SEO, then find I can recommend some, but find a reputable agency to do the SEO for you, build your website on Carrot and hire out your SEO and get ranked in Google. So it can be as easy as that, but I just say go after what gives you energy. But I think I got lost. I sidetracked myself from your question. You're asking like, how hard is it to get ranked? Yeah. It depends on what market you're in. So we have, if you're in a smaller market, like I'm in Roseburg, town of 30,000 people, it's really not that hard to get ranked on the front page of Google, but there's not a lot of competition. If you're somewhere like Phoenix, pretty competitive market for real estate, then it's going to be a little bit tougher to get ranked for some competitive keyword phrases. So like before we were recording this podcast, I went to Google and I typed in like sell my mobile home fast, California. That's the entire state. It's going to be a little bit more competitive. But I typed that in and without even looking, the first few search results are all Carrot websites. I go to Phoenix, same thing. Sell my mobile home, Phoenix, and there's Carrot websites. And so, yeah, I think so it depends on the market. So it's a very contextual question, but I think the main takeaway when you're talking about SEO is to focus on lead quality instead of quantity. It's not a numbers game, which is kind of a mindset shift for people when you're doing marketing, like cold calling, direct mail. You're talking numbers like hundreds and thousands of postcards and leads. And how many leads does it take to close just one deal? With SEO, those numbers are a lot lower because you got to put yourself in the mindset of a mobile home seller. They've got a specific problem. They are so motivated that they're going to Google and typing in the exact problem they have. I need to sell my mobile home fast in Roseburg, Oregon, California, whatever. And they are motivated. They're looking for solutions to that problem. They're not sitting on the sidelines like they didn't see your Facebook ad pop up or get a postcard and they're like, oh, maybe stick it on the fridge, put it in the drawer. They're ready to go. So SEO leads, like we've seen close about one in 10 leads to a deal. And, Facebook might be 1 in 20, direct mail, 1 in 40, 1 in 50, using really rough numbers. But yeah, SEO leads like 1 in 10 usually turns into a deal. Sometimes like 1 in 5, 1 in 8 for some of our members, depending on how good of a closer you are. But yeah, it is attainable to rank in Google. But focus on lead quality, not quantity is what I would say.
Okay. And that gets me to the next question. We're talking about content. I mean, this is all overwhelming for an investor who just wants to focus on just talking with sellers and negotiating. You got
Yeah.
the website, you try to rank for SEO. I mean, let's talk about content creation. I mean, are these sellers going to be interested in articles, for mobile homes? And is that how do they actually make their decision whether to buy? I work with, an investor or a company. What would you need on these websites that,
Yeah.
investors put together? I mean, that's the other question. How feasible is it to DIY, even the content creation portion of it?
Yeah, it is feasible. I mean, like, I hate to sound like I'm just trying to get people sold on Carrot. I'm really just talking about like how it's easier with Carrot because we build a lot of this into the website. So when you launch a Carrot website, you're not having to create a lot of that content from scratch. The short version of the answer is sellers want to do their research. They do their research. So if you have a website and you have all the answers to their questions and you have content that can help them make a well-informed decision, then you're probably going to close that deal, you know? And so they're looking up things like how to sell my mobile home, the pros and cons of selling to an investor, or what to do before selling your mobile home, how to get your mobile home ready to sell. People are going to Google every day and searching things like this. So your website really should serve as an education piece to them. You're nurturing that lead, you're educating them, you're building trust with them, and you're kind of establishing yourself as, hey, I'm the authority on these topics. And so the websites really, like the Carrot websites, a lot of that, we call them like your core conversion pages, like your home page, your about page, your how it works page. We have mobile home templates where like a lot of that content is already literally written for you. So you launch the website, it's written, we'll pre-fill it with your business name, your city. So bam. We can even help you with blog posts. Like we have blog posts written on certain topics where you can go and launch them and then edit them. But you can take it a step further and create content, that your leads, your prospects are asking. You can create content to answer those questions. Create like a FAQ page for your website. But the more important thing, so we're talking about like, I totally get it. Like SEO is a commitment. It's a long game. And for some people, they're like, I'm just not going to do SEO. I'm not going to dive into the world of online marketing. If I can get leads from these other places, if I can do my direct mail, my door knocking, I totally get that. But the one thing to remember is that like we talked about in the beginning, all your offline marketing drives online demand. And when people hear about you through a radio ad or a TV ad, or they get your postcard, whether you have a website on there or not, they're going to go to Google. They're going to search for you and they want to check out online to see if you're legitimate, to see if you're credible, see if you've done deals, how you've helped people. They're going to look for testimonials. I mean, when's the last time any of us went to Amazon and found a listing with like 0 reviews and we're like, yeah, I'm going to buy that one? Never. It's like, I'd rather buy the thing with 2-star review than the one with 0 reviews because I just don't know if it's going to work. I'm not going to waste my time, money. And if I'm going to be that picky about a $12 Amazon decision, how picky are sellers going to be? How much research are they going to do when they're talking about selling their house? It's a lot,
Exactly. Now, I did not know that. I knew that you had templates, but I didn't know that you had it for specific industries. So let's talk about these templates because specifically for mobile home investing. Can you tell us a little bit about the content? You talked about FAQ pages. What kind of content, if these are template ready specifically for mobile home investing, what kind of templates are we talking about? We talk about the FAQ. What else kind of templates do you have?
Yeah. So basically, let's say you just signed up for Carrot, you're like, okay, I need a website. I need to get a website up quick for my investing business. After you choose like your design, your theme, how it looks, the aesthetic, the next thing, or it might be the step before it, what you're going to pick is what you want the site to accomplish. So you can pick a website to just build like overall credibility just about your company, or you can create a template to attract motivated house sellers. You can have a template that's pre-built for getting land sellers, but then like we were talking about, we have one for mobile homes. And so basically when you pick a template, what the magic of Carrot, what it's doing in the back end is pre-populating the website with the right text and the right images that obviously you would go in and tweak a little bit afterwards, add your own logo, add some local images, make it more personable to you, etc. But anyways, I've got one in front of me right now. I'm looking at my screen while we're talking. It's phoenixmobilehome.com. I went to Google and did exactly what a seller would do. I typed in, need to sell my mobile home fast in Phoenix. Type that, Carrot website pops up. But this was built from a Carrot mobile home template website. And when they launched a website specifically geared towards mobile homes, as the homepage, a how it works page, an about us page, and there may be more pages that I'm missing, but it has those what we call core conversion pages. They're already linked to each other. They already have the forms pre-built on them. And all of the wording on these forms, on these pages, is specifically made for mobile home investors. So you don't have to do all this creative thinking. It's like, what do I need to put on this page? What's the title of this form? What do I put on this button? Like, we take a lot of that tech work out of it,
Okay. Now we're talking about mobile homes. Do you also have, because I have also listeners who actually own mobile home parks who want to buy more. Do you have mobile home park templates? And then I also have listeners who they're trying to get their operations for their parks, and they're actually looking for tenants for their parks as well too. I mean, that's all customizable on not just finding seller leads, but finding buyer leads, tenant leads, the other way around? Is it all customizable in terms of an investor if they were trying to, for their own operation as well too?
Yeah, it's a good question. We don't have one specifically for mobile home parks, but we do have customers that are customizing them to attract mobile home parks. So some people will do this on a regional or like local level. They'll just be attracting leads in their city or their county or maybe their state. And some people are trying to go nationwide. But we have one of our members, Keith Sant. He's an investor out of Washington. He's got a site where he's consistently getting mobile home park leads in for tired landlords or owners of mobile home parks that want to get rid of their park. So you can easily customize it. It's just a matter of going to the website, editing it, and changing some of the text on there to attract the keywords and the titles to attract mobile home park sellers. But another example would be, let's say you're after just motivated seller leads, and you're like, hey, I'm a flipper, I'm a wholesaler. I'll take any property that comes my way. I went to Google before we were on the podcast, and I typed how to sell my mobile home fast in Oregon. And one of the top results I found was ochbuyers.com. You can go to this website, check it out. It's another Carrot website. And it's ochbuyers.com/sell my mobile home fast in Oregon. So this is a Carrot website template built to attract motivated seller leads. So they're ranking in certain areas in Roseburg just to get general motivated sellers, houses. But then he has a specific page that he built out for buying mobile homes anywhere in the state of Oregon. And then you go into it, once you get into his website, he's got a tab. It's like where we buy mobile homes, and he's got a list of all these different locations. So when you talk about like, this matters for ranking in Google, and this matters for like educating your prospects, having a list of places that you do business in is really helpful for both those things, for Google and your prospects, for them to know, oh, okay, this isn't just a generic company. They're not like some far off company. They're actually doing business in my area. They understand my area. And so this website that I was mentioning, they went and did the work of creating pages for each location. So for instance, ochbuyers.com/sell my home fast in Coos Bay, Oregon, which is a little coastal town. So they're ranking in Google for some of those phrases in Google that have a little bit less volume. There's not as many people searching, because smaller market, but they're super motivated because it's a really specific phrase that people are entering. So they did that. And I can nerd out about tools too, but I don't want to come off as salesy, but we have tools that make building location pages really easy, to where you basically just punch in the city and the state that you want a page for, and then we'll pre-populate it with all the text and make a location page for you. So Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's on the selling end. And the other question, do you see people doing it on the buying end and then also the renting end as well too? Because a lot of mobile home park owners, they are actually looking to kind of like streamline to fill their lots. Then they want to find tenants for their lots. And I'm sure that's all customizable as well too, if make your website through Carrot.
Yeah. Yeah. Super customizable. I mean, you can change anything from the aesthetic to the text. So I use the word template loosely. If you think of it as like a getting started point, but not in the sense that you're restricted to only being able to do that one thing.
Right,
We have
exactly.
daycares running on Carrot. Like we have daycares in our hometown that are running, like built a website on Carrot just because they knew somebody who worked here and like, oh wait, that's a way to get a website up easy and fast, like for a pretty reasonable price. And I don't have to like do all the work to make the forms and all this stuff. I actually I have a podcast on the side. I built my podcast website on Carrot just because I was like, I don't want to do the work of building a custom website. So it can work for anything. It's customizable enough.
Yeah, and I started out as a blogger. It's not easy, y'all.
Oh
I
my
mean,
goodness.
I'm
Yeah.
still on WordPress, so
Yeah.
I might have to sign up for my own Carrot site.
Were you doing it back in the day of it was blogger.com, right? I'm thinking the little
Yeah,
orange
I
square
started
with the
out
white.
as it's still up. I think it's
Yeah.
still up. And
Blogspot.
then yeah, Blogspot, and then I transferred like a lot of my real estate blogger friends to WordPress, and now the big thing now is this Wix, Squarespace,
Yeah.
all that, and I'm just not ready.
Yeah, the thing is, it's overwhelming. I mean, I've built Wix websites too in the past, but the thing
Mhm.
is that it's generic, so they're not industry specific. So none of the content is industry specific, and their support is not industry specific. You know, and so that's kind of the magic of I would say Carrot, but anytime you're dealing with a business that's industry specific, is like the product is built for that industry, and the support team we work with real estate investors day in day out. We speak the language, which you can't get that from Wix. It's just
Right.
generic. You're going to get lost in a sea of all the other websites.
Right. So let's talk about Carrot because you said that an investor can get up and running in about what, 20, 30 minutes with all this
Yep.
versus making their own DIY, looking into should I use Wix, should I use WordPress? But then you got to talk about SEO, then you got to think about content creation, then you got to think about forms. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, and you're not even investing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing content creation here,
Yeah.
and that's not what we do. We go out, we talk to
Yeah.
sellers, we negotiate, right? So
Yeah.
let's talk about these features of Carrot versus doing the DIY for mobile home investors. What would an investor need to, I mean, if they want to go ahead and make a website through Carrot, is it as easy as, signing up and then the push of a button, or do they have to do some brainstorming in terms of what they want on a website, and then different, pieces of content? Or, I mean, I think you had talked about all the content. There's all these different templates, or is there
Yeah.
just kind of like push of a button? You want this website, it creates all these forms and templates and content creation, and it's just a matter of putting your logo up there and name.
Yeah. So I'll kind of separate it into two or really three buckets. Like you really can get a Carrot website launch in about 20 minutes. And then afterwards, connect your domain to it. So you bought like the actual URL, the domain separately, tie it back to Carrot. Our team can help you with that. But getting the website up and running really is that fast. Like, boom, it's pre-populated. The website is up. Then you don't. So in short, to answer your question, you don't need to do any brainstorming or strategy in the early days of like, what am I going to create? Your first steps are really just about personalizing it, making your own. So upload your own logo. You got a logo, upload it. You got a headshot, put that on your about page to replace the stock image. Go to ChatGPT and have it help you write you a bio and about our company little paragraph, put that on your about page. Or we have an AI rewrite tool in Carrot where you can, have it rewrite the content for you to customize it, personalize it. Anyway, so yes, it really is that quick to get a Carrot website launched. Secondly, there's a difference between a website and a high converting website. So Carrot websites they already load fast. They're already in the right structure. The page is already built. So there's all those things that you don't have to think about, like how do I link into each other? What are the pages called? What do I need to do? So you don't really have to think a lot about the website strategy. Now, I'm not getting into SEO like keyword research yet, but I'm saying this the strategy of the actual website you don't have to worry about. Now the difference between a website and a high converting website, the biggest thing is credibility. So what you do want to do after each website up is load it up with reviews. Take screenshots of your Google reviews, post them on, I think, on every page in your website, your about page, your homepage, even make a separate reviews or testimonial page. If you're going to closings with sellers in person, if you're not doing deals virtually, say, hey, would you mind if I got a quick, I wouldn't say the word review or testimonial. I would say, hey, do you mind if I get your thoughts on how this went so far? I just wanted to get a quick video of your thoughts on this. Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Pull out your cell phone. Don't overcomplicate it. Say, hey, it's Brady with Brady Buys Houses. I'm sitting here with Mike. Mike just sold me his house, and I just wanted to ask you, how was the experience of working with me? And oh yeah, it was great, etc. And ask a couple questions that'll help kind of smash objections for future sellers. 1-2 minute video, put it on YouTube, put it on your website. Boom, load up your website with some of those testimonials. So credibility is huge. Give as many reviews as possible. A real example of a customer member, Bo Hollis. He's in Louisville, Kentucky. This is a website, simplysold.com. We got a text from him a while back, and he said, he sent us a text and he said, this seller found me online. She was searching Louisville homes for sale, or excuse me, how to sell my house fast in Louisville, found my website, watched all the content, watched my videos, and watched the main about me video. He has like a really well done video that talks about him and his company that he had his videographer do. It doesn't have to be like that, but he took it the next level. Anyways, she watched the video and she told him, after watching your video, I felt like you were the solution. Like you were the one that I had to work with. I wasn't even considering anyone else. And he locked up the deal that week. Like, boom. She landed on the website, watched his testimonials. It built so much trust and credibility that she didn't even consider going with anyone else. So when you talk about like, we don't want to spend too much time in content creation and working on the website, we need to be negotiating. I agree with that. And I also agree with the fact that your website should do a lot of the negotiation for you. So, that's the difference. So whether they came from online, whether it was an online lead through like Google search or PPC or Facebook ad or whatever, or if it was direct mail, imagine if it's direct mail, they go to your website, they've gone down the research rabbit hole, they looked at your reviews, and they're already bought in. By the time you get on the phone, they're like, I'm sold. Let's do it.
Right.
You're not having to do all that negotiation as often and as manually as if your website was doing it for you. So
work too hard. You don't want to work too hard, for sure. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit this, but I will, since y'all, follow me and listen to my podcast. Back in the day, I think it was actually my first couple of deals as a mobile home investor. I used to get testimonials, but it would be actually written in a notebook. And I would ask, can I forward your phone number to any sellers who may want to work with me in the future? Can you write a testimonial right here in the notebook? And they actually would. And I don't throw away any of my notebooks. I'm sure if awesome. I looked through all my notebooks from 2007 and forward, I will probably find it. These testimonials.
What's cool about that is that it is it's real. It's a physical review and it's real. So you could even get creative, take pictures of that notebook, put it on your website, and call it the reviews page, testimonials page, and then put a title on the page that says like, Rachel's review notebook. And then just have a short sentence about these are all reviews from all of my sellers who have loved me since 2007 or whatever year was you started. So bam, it's like, oh, she's been doing this for a long time. And then have like a next button. And each time you hit the next button, it's a new page. So they can basically virtually flip through that journal. I mean, these are handwritten. That's irrefutable proof. And it's interesting, like not to get too nerdy for people, but like we've tested like the pretty standard stock testimonials on websites versus like screenshots of a Facebook review or a Google review or a video. And the oftentimes the uglier, the more realistic ones, like outconvert the really pretty standard ones, because we've all been to like somebody's website that they just launched and it's got like placeholder reviews or placeholder text, and it just sometimes is not as believable. But like you look at your notebook, like you're talking about, or a screenshot of a Facebook or Google review, you're like, oh, obviously somebody else left that. There's no doubt.
Totally customizable for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's a lot of work, everyone, to put a website together as a blogger and now podcaster. And my next question is, let's talk about the training, because obviously, and the customer service, the customer support for Carrot, because obviously it could be overwhelming for folks if they do sign up, for the service. Let's talk about, what kind of, customer support, customer services up there for someone who's like, okay, I've signed up. Now what do I do? Or is there
Yeah.
training videos? How does that work?
Yeah, so we've got a couple things that have worked really well for members over the year. One thing I forgot to mention is like DIY versus done for you. If you're like, hey, I don't want to spend any time on this website at all, even besides like I don't even want to upload my own logo, or I don't want to do anything of it. Our team can handle a lot of that stuff for you. So we do have like a quick start option where we'll do some of the basics for you for a couple $100, or we do have like a higher level concierge option where somewhere around $3,000. But we have a designer on our team and copywriters that we work with to really go in, make it stand out above the rest. And so anyways, depending on your skill level, how much time, money you want to invest, time or money, we can help you. So we do have done for you options. But anyways, yeah, trainings, we have two different trainings. We have a 30-day challenge where basically kind of breaks down the mindset of online marketing. And it's kind of like your online marketing primer, kind of starts to dip your toes into SEO and what's most important in your website. That's really cool because you get weekly live calls with someone on our team and you're in with another group of people. So there's this, fun accountability aspect of, oh, I'm not doing this alone. Like, hey, we can all get results together and work on this together. I like that format. That works really well. And then we have what we call our 3 lead per day training, which dives deep into SEO and paid ads like Facebook, YouTube ads, etc. So we have a 3 lead per day training. If you're committed and you want to dive deep into that rabbit hole, learn online marketing, we could do that. But yeah. And then we have our marketplace, which is basically some of our in-house services, like I mentioned, so like the concierge service, as well as some of the partners that we've vetted and have worked with over the last few years, like our trusted partners. So if you're looking for like an SEO agency and you want to outsource all that, or if like, hey, I need a pay-per-lead service, or I need someone to run Google pay-per-click ads for me, and I just want to put money into online marketing so I can just, boom, get motivated leads coming to me and I can just close them. We have those partners in the marketplace. We focus on the websites.
That's great. Exactly. It's good to have that support because I actually have a lot of students, like they work full-time jobs. They don't want to do any of this. They're like, how can I duplicate what you do, Rachel, and pay a VA? And, now I've got to look for a VA, and then I got to manage the VA. Then I got to pay you, Rachel, to consult because you need to tell me what I need to tell the VA to do.
Yeah.
In terms of support, is that another service that, you work with these other companies as well too? Because I do have students who are looking for VAs. I mean, depending on, whatever they need for the mobile home investing business. But, a lot of it is like lead generation, follow-up, just getting found online, simple things like that, when you're talking about pay-per-click and all that. So.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, I mean, here's what I think is like the best value for someone. I don't think it's, get a Carrot website and outsource everything, pay someone to do everything. I think with any marketing channel, you need to have a firm grasp on it and understand it. I think it's really dangerous or it could be really dangerous to outsource marketing to someone that you don't know or trust yet. And if you don't understand the platform or the channel, to just throw money at it. Like, I'm not going to go throw money at Facebook ads if I don't understand at least some level of how Facebook ads work and what a successful ad looks like, et cetera. So anyways, I'm sorry, I totally derailed myself. What was your question?
No, just for those folks who are trying to outsource some of the
Oh
items,
yeah.
like what a VA would do in terms of these
Yeah.
partner companies that you have. It seems like you have a wide array of them.
Yeah, thank you. So what I was getting at with that is like when you build your website, sign up for Carrot, we'll give you a checklist. We'll give you a checklist to work off of. Say, hey, do these things, learn about these things. After you get your website launched, depending on how much you want to optimize it, etc. So get an understanding of like what makes a website work at a high level, what a credible website looks like, kind of understand some of the fundamentals of it, and then you could pass some of that off to a VA. But it would be a little difficult and a little bit unrealistic to say, hey, I paid the money, click the button, launch the website, now VA go do everything. So there's some context you would need to guide them on. Also, when it comes to like your company, so like the personality and the brand behind your company, you're going to know that better than any VA on a planet will. So we do partner with Rocket Station. They're in our marketplace. So Rocket Station virtual assistants, they're really good. We'd recommend them. But yeah, we have VAs that can help you execute a lot of this work. I just recommend like having some sort of a grasp on it, not blindly outsourcing any of it.
Yeah, I mean, you touched upon a lot of items. I mean, the most important thing, not just finding leads online, but finding leads that convert. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of that has to do with presentation.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I mean, myself included, not many investors are very good with presentation online. I mean, that's just me, in terms of that. So it seems like it with the Carrot service, it just all comes together. It makes it slick. You've got the SEO, you've got the templates, you've got the content creation, and then you've got all these other companies that can be support whatever you need help in, just as an added, so there's different options there. I mean, someone's starting from the ground up and they want to have some kind of presence online. I mean, what would you, because there's so many different offerings with Carrot, what would you suggest, Brady? Someone just
Yeah.
brand new, I need something.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's valid because like a lot of us we're strapped for time, and sometimes it's like, okay, minimum viable product. I just got to get something. You can get Carrot for our lowest plans like $89 a month if you don't need or want any of the add-ons yet. I would just recommend start at the lowest plan, get a website up, and get one of the trainings. We could probably get that through you as well, but get a training and do it in bite-sized chunks. Just try to commit to like, okay, I'm going to do one thing a day or one thing a week. Don't think of it as like, I have all these things I need to do. It's like unlimited work, like I could go buy a car or I could fix up a car and I could work on a project car for the rest of my life if I wanted to. Terrible analogy, but I could break that down into smaller bite-sized goals. And so I'd say, okay, I'm going to get one review today. I'm going to get one review this week. I'm going to put that review on my website. Okay, this week, you know what? I'm going to work on my about page. I'm going to write a bio for my company or have Carrot AI help me rewrite that and just do that. So break it down in bite-sized chunks, but just get the website up and running, personalize it a little bit, and that's it. So at least you can, another analogy, just plug the leaky bucket, being you don't want to be losing deals when people are trying to find you online and you're not showing up, So get the website up and running. Really, just to get a little bit more specific there, I guess, a little bit more tactical, is to focus on your brand search when it comes to SEO and to focus on making sure that you are showing up for, if I'm Brady Buys Houses, when people are typing in Brady Buys Houses reviews, that my website's showing up in Google. Focus on that before you do any sort of SEO so that you can stop losing deals. That's what I recommend.
Okay, good, good, good. And lastly, I do want to ask you, y'all, are providing a free 30-day challenge here with the Carrot service. Can you kind of elaborate on that challenge? I think you had mentioned it a little bit. How does it work and how will it help investors? I mean, it's 30 days.
Yeah, basically, so it's 30 days, but it's a manageable amount of work. It's basically lessons and tips to help you, like I said, get in the mindset of online marketing and get your website up and running and get your website customized and optimized in bite-sized steps. And so We have modules that will walk you through trainings on how to do all of these things. And then a weekly live call with, I believe Eric on our team is running right now. Super high energy, awesome guy. But we get on a live call and give you a chance to ask questions with other Carrot members in our team to help get answers to your problem. So the 30-day challenge is really like the best like introduction, hand-holding solution to getting started with Carrot. It's super affordable too.
Great. I will put the information and details for the free 30-day challenge in the show notes. It's exclusive to y'all as listeners of the podcast, Adventures in Mobile Homes. Thank you so much, Carrot and Brady, for putting it together with the free trainings as well, too. I think it's an amazing, amazing opportunity to just get out there and get your online presence and start generating these leads online. And like Brady said, start putting your testimonials or gather testimonials from sellers that you worked with, from buyers or renters, even park managers, anyone in your network, mobile home dealerships. I mean, Rachel's got a lot of work to do if I'm going to be gathering testimonials, from folks, because I've got a pretty expansive network. Well, that's a lot of information, Brady. I'm really, really excited about this and excited to share this free 30-day challenge with listeners. If anyone has any questions about what we talked about here, online marketing, content creation, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we have a podcast as well. If you're listening to this, obviously you love podcasts. So go to your podcast app, type in Evergreen Marketing. You'll see mine and Trevor's podcast in there. We were talking about this before we hit record. We hit episode 500 recently, which is crazy. But what we did at episode 500 is we started from ground zero and said, let's do a series of episodes that teaches people what we call evergreen marketing. So inbound marketing, content creation, SEO. Let's teach people evergreen marketing from start to finish. And so we just kind of have gone through a series. So if you had episode 500, that'll start you. You just teach you everything you need to know. If you're new to online marketing, you don't have a website, that's a really good place to start. And then we have Facebook group as well, Evergreen Marketing. You go to community.carrot.com or just type in Evergreen Marketing Facebook. I know you'll get sick of hearing us talk about evergreen marketing, but we're passionate about it. But anyways, you can go there, ask questions about Carrot, whether you're a member or you're not. We'd love to help you out there. We have a lot of Carrot members in that group who can, answer your questions too. But yeah, I'd say really the thing is like, if I had one advice for people, it's like, think about what you want your business to do for you. How does that tie back to your end game, your vision? And I would just encourage people to not get so caught up in the marketing and the lead generation, all that, but just to really think about how you can build a business of freedom and impact. That's the main thing. I think that's what we're all after.
Yes, most definitely. Amazing. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Brady from Carrot, coming on the show. Thank you all for listening. Again, go to the show notes. I put the link here for more details on that free 30-day challenge and free training with carrot.com. This is Rachel Hernandez, aka Mobile Home Girl with the Adventures of Mobile Homes podcast, signing off. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Bye.